So it's Thursday morning, and we're waiting for the other piece of news to come out, the jobs report. And the dollar news wasn't, it wouldn't have changed my trade plan on this Australia and New Zealand. This was the trade. Obviously, this was the dumbest trade you've ever seen. You've got double bottom here. You're buying here with a 25 pip stop. That's a 25 grid on top of 100. Okay, this is like child's play. Where's your exit? Right here. Okay, didn't quite make it, but when you get in a 25 pip window, if you go back to this low, you got to be getting out. Like, how greedy are you? So that was a high probability chatter bottom, just accumulation. And of course, if this is the daily chart, you had to wait for this Sunday entry. But that was a clean 3 days up. So it's obvious. Now I'm going to buy and pull back. So on this, I could put in the 16 pip. That's a 16 pip order. Span 16 pips. I wrote a 32. 3 hours. Now this would be if the news was coming out. Put that in there. But here's the New Zealand dollar. Same setup, same story. You can see it's a 50 pip window down here for the entry. But you'd have to have these 12 pip entries to make 30 pips. So you have this down here because you want to make something on the way to the ultimate goal. This would be super tight, like if that's just a mini, and even at that, it's getting in 1 pip apart with a, some of these aren't properly sized. Like here's a 20 pip stop, 16 pips deep. Well, all your stops are stacking up down here, and when this comes back down in, if it does, which it doesn't look like it's going to now, everybody's onto it. Okay, here we go. Looks like they're going to smash the dollar, and so saw some guy doing a video, said he's looking for places to sell. Then I seen another video this morning. The confirmation entry. Why? Just get married on the first date. That's what I'm talking about. You're hot. Let's get married. In fact, be those guys that marry a bunch of people. So unfortunately, I had to take off the other currencies on this demo account because I couldn't focus. Upside down view. I need to see everything against the dollar so I can trade each pullback and each pivot point accordingly with the, I can just set my gauge here, how many pips I'm trying to make, and just place all the orders on this grid, and the market ricochets up and down. I don't have to worry about, oh, dollar CAD's going to fall out of bed and drop down some cavity, some hole. Right? It's upside down. Here it's the war on the dollar. These guys are neighbors. These guys are neighbors. It's an easy view. I couldn't do the other one. I don't normally trade 8 currencies, so it's very, with all those grids. Plus, I'm not really trying to make money in the account. I'm just trying to test out these things because if I was really trying to make money on it, I would spend more time trading than designing trade plans. But the trade plan's the trade. You know, if you waited, if I loaded the wagon here and waited for 3 days or 3 weeks, I might make a ton of money and people would be like, wow, you made a ton of money. Or I could scalp it and make a ton of money. But yeah, that's just trading without, there's no market orders in here and there's no stops. So it's kind of a contest, really. It's a trading contest. Can you trade with limits only? Because anybody can just jump in the market like they just think, oh, it's going up. You could have loaded up down here, no doubt. I mean, these are tiny, these are 25 pip windows on the Wix. And you just place your orders here. You got to break even. You got a colossal winner You got the whole gambit, and then your exit window's up here. Right? Why all the Cartleys? What's the point? 50 pip window, you have scalps in there, you're going to get out here. Overshot the runway. But hey, if you got out here, you made that much. This is due for a pullback. Everything's due for a pullback. All the thing does is retrace and range trade all day. That's the beauty of it. The fact that you don't know where it's going is the magic. So you have to embrace the non-confirmation. Now here's of course the broker goes offline. This broker just disconnects. But you put the order here. You put a scalp bank right on this. Now look at this scalping here. That is ridiculous. From both directions. Of course, if you sold up into this floor here, you took some heat. But you had to realize that all the zigzag stuff is the node. That's a doji on the weekly. All this crap, all that pricing. And who's not selling here? Who's not covering their shorts right at the previous floor? And you know, who's not going to start buying if it comes back to this trend line when it comes back to here? So these are all good trades. Like, who's not going to put an order here and say, oh, I'll just get in there and we'll just ride it up for... So that's all you're doing is placing orders. In the end, that's all you're doing is placing orders. It's pretty sad. And you wait for the market to do its thing. Go up and down, up and down. This week, take advantage of this stuff instead of moaning that your the market in July wasn't good. That's why we didn't make any money in power trading, because, you know, July's a rough month, and, you know, the holidays, we don't trade that either. Like, aren't these good trades? No offense to the holidays, but trading's trading. Was it a holiday when they unpegged the Swiss franc? Was it a... You know, this, come on, right? Are you kidding? But I did realize one thing. 4 currencies. I could do 4 currencies, that's it. I could do something against the dollar also, whatever else against the dollar. I don't know what it is. Dollar Swiss sucks. Dollar CAD, I mean, you'd have to flip your whole mind over. I can't, that's one bias. I'd rather be biased. Everything against the dollar. It's just too much to focus on, I think. Looking at the dollar yen, I'm thinking, well, I got to build like a sell plan right now. Like right now. I mean, it's just too hard on my brain. I thought I could do it. I've seen people analyze these markets, and I'm like, but you just got done dating a girl that doesn't even speak English, and now you're like, you just dumped her, and you're going to pick up a new. This one speaks English, so it's okay somehow. But I don't know what else is against the dollar. But yeah, I just had to pull that stuff off there. I couldn't stand it. And these are decent spreads. Certainly, these are high probability trades. I mean, these are stupid trades for stupid people. There's the exit. It's also the bear's entrance, but how are they doing on that trade? Not so good. So this could waffle here. This thing's frisky as the devil. I mean, this was just... Now, to orchestrate 4 currencies against the dollar is a piece of cake. You put a dollar CAD up there, dollar Swiss, dollar yen. You're going to fry your brain. You need another room in the house for the yen. Okay, you need to get like sake going on there or something. You do need to cloud trade. It's forget what I said. You got to cloud trade that yen with sake in another room. I just assume spike trade the. Of course, there's plenty of thrills and spills on the dollar CAD and the dollar yen. All markets are capable of volatility. So it looks like another retest possibly, but look at all these retests. Easy trades, just money all day long. Yeah, another trap trade, ricochet off the floor. Well, it's going to come down to this: is this trapped below? All this thing has to do, the euro, has to weasel up and just start crawling out of this hole, this monster hole. And if you go to the weekly, that's the end of the year. If you go to the monthly, are you serious? You really think? Would you sell here? Wow. So I think the party could be over here for the Dollar. Lights out for the dollar. This is a huge lock-in. Big trap. Who couldn't see that coming? We all talked about that one. We're all talking about that one. Oh, it's going to go through the floor here, and it's just going to... Oh, yeah, and it's going to go to par, and... Oh, is it? Why don't you sell here and hold it? Let me guess where your stop's at. So when your stop's here, we'll go up and tag that stop, and then you'll be right for a while. And we'll go up and tag the stop that you put in. Should I just fade? I'll just fade the last video I saw this morning. That should work. We're bearish. But gosh, if you just range trade this thing. Look at this double bottom in the 4-hour. Yes. Gee, it retested down here. I can't even believe it. Fucking, I was long and I moved I managed my stop and got stopped out of that. God, this is so stupid. This was painfully obvious that we were going to take out the high of last week. Total engulf. Just as soon as we took that out. Triple bottom? You could have bought those over and over again, yes. That's right. Now you buy here. And you buy here. And once this thing weasels past here, this was the exit here. Right, that was the obvious doji exit. Everybody's bailing, comes back. The thing is it gonna just sit here and go, and then this is just gonna be one big say bye-bye to the dollar. Who knows? Honestly, who cares? Because all you gotta do is, on the 4-hour chart, is try to make this trade here. So this is the morning trade, was buy this easy plunge. Sure, you could have routed to here and sold, but when you sold up here, you had to realize that the party was over. So I had to get out at this top. So the top became a bottom. This is where I'm getting in. But they overshoot the runway by 25 pips. If you call this overshoot to the pivot, but this is the 25-yard line. It's a big deal. And just a great place to keep putting retag entries. If only for a scalp of 50 pips. If only. Constant battle zone. Constant selling at the 25 with a 25 stop to make 25. If you're a break-even trader. The trade's all there all day long. It's silly. Here's your first trend line you can draw. There's a nice head and shoulders, kind of a upside down, I call that the wine glass entry. It's a little teacup. I'm a little teacup. So here's the double bottom. You buy, sell. And then here they really think, oh yeah, that baby's going through the floor. But then look at them. This is supposed to serve as a double bottom. Uh-oh. This is supposed to be like, well, that's where all the money management bots start stacking up and you just get a crush. Mega crush. Got right at the end of the week. Had to wait all week, but if you load it up here in the middle of the week and you held that through all those days, you're making a hell of a lot of money with very little effort. You just place those orders down there. So looking for this to come back. Give it 8 hours to get down here. 12 pip range. May not get filled, but I'm already committed to buying this retest of this doji here. So getting the length of these orders to last just the perfect around, it's got to be a Goldilocks for how long does a ticket last as to the ratio of that. And so I found a tool to build better scripts that are mathematically correct. So I'm up to about 50 designs here, and even after you design them all, you still got to put the order in, and you still got to say, well, am I overdoing it? Am I in too fat? Is the market too volatile to put in such a large spread of, I wrote a 70 pip range here. Here's my 70 pip ticket. This will span 70 pips, and it's geometric, so it's going to double every spacing. Four tickets across 70 pips, wherever I drop the cursor tip. And it just gets in fatter by a multiple. Keeps slicing in half the distance, but the stop remains the same. And the stop set at 100 pips, so you have a 30 pip virtual stop from the very last order. And because the very top one, you're taking 100 pips of heat. So it's a real swing trade idea. Here's the same thing at 20 pip, geometric. So it comes in and it fattens up, buys a hell of a lot on that pullback, and here's you're just looking at a scalp off the top of that. That's like 8 hour. It could be 1 hour. I got a 1 hour here. Here's a 1 hour scalp. You could just stack these up. So you come underneath the market like that, waiting for it to come back into your the launching zone. Here's a 12 pip range, 5 pip stop to make 10. So it's just double your money, but it's just like a psycho plunge scalp. But that's only 10K. The beauty of that is, I just heard this guy talking about trading minis, trading a 10K. I just put in a 10K with 2 drops spanning 24 pips just because you could do it like that. And you could say, oh, I'm going to do the same thing at a 4 pip range. And you can put a little denser pocket right here where there's a pivot. So if the market comes plunging down in, right, it's filling up that, and then you could say, well, I'm for an hour. I'll buy down here at the very where you suspect there's probably stops. Just to capture that trade off of that one situation. Like this. You're watching this happen. You see that's a pivot. You're going to drop a 12 banger, covers 12 pips. They might get stopped out of something, but what if you canvas all the way here, add another one, and depending on the situation, and have them stop you out and have it go flat. So the market really does crush down, and it stops you out. It's okay, no, never mind, because if you've got 4 currencies running, you're probably getting filled on something else at that moment. So as this pulling back, the other one's cashing out. You can always hit another reason why I have to trade everything against the dollar is because I have a take all profits key, and when the dollar's getting its ass kicked across the board and I can see that I just want to get out, I'm not conflicted about getting out of other currencies that aren't, like if the dollar against the CAD's involved in the thing, then I can't sweep out of the whole position. Because you can always get back in. All you got to do is put your order like 1 pip deep. At a buy limit, you're buying at the market, but you're psychologically primed to buy on limits because you're going to, if you can't wait an hour, you can't wait a day. Or if you can't wait 3 seconds, you can't wait a day. So patience is irregardless of time, because if you're really impatient, then 40 milliseconds is forever. So patience doesn't really exist in time value. It's like if I was going to buy this here, because I say, well, at this right sitting right here at the top, it's right on a triple top right now, buy at the market, buy at the market. So instead of that, realize that I've got so many working orders, I'm already in like $700 of margin, and just let it go. Or if you're not in anything right now, how could you resist not buying, say, the euro? Because you can see them teeing it up here. It came back to this top. Everything's teeing up. This guy's already onto it. So this one's leading, and this one can be quite volatile. And this is broke out, pulled back. This is really leading the pack. This is really the total assault on the dollar, because as we say when this thing's going up, that it's the cheapest currency on the planet. It's the new kid on the block currency. So if that goes up, then the dollar's really, I mean, and it's totally down at the bottom. It's beat up, but it's not a major pivot. What's in the middle of it's in the middle of nowhere. But it doesn't matter, because where this is at in the big picture has nothing to do when everything's queued up to the 4-hour chart. It's about what's going on right now, as far as to follow the money, so to speak, or follow the dollar up and down. So that's the problem with going to that larger time frame, is now you're going to put a bias on it. Where here you can just see what's going on. Now, whether this resolves that way, instead of selling, making a decision, I'm going to let the market come into where I think there's support, and if I'm right, I'll let the market prove me right. That's the old trick. So if you let the market come to you, then if you think you know where the market's at, or you think you understand support and resistance, then we just place your order there. And everything I'm listening to, well, I'd say 90% of what I listen to, just watch these two girls give a seminar on trading, and both trading at the market. They want to shoot the thing while it's running. It's just ridiculous if you think about it. So no wonder they're freaking out. No wonder you have to be awake and all that nonsense. But you don't have to. You can be a complete idiot. You can be a complete slob. There isn't this. I used to think that you had to have this checklist, and if you didn't do this, this, and this, then, or if your office wasn't designed just so, and everything had to be just so, that you shouldn't do it, because it's really risky trading. And I'm like, hell, the best trading I've ever done is just like, holy shit, just see an opportunity to get in there without any distraction of the execution or what you're seeing. And when you're trading off, like if you take an old computer screen that doesn't have a lot of width to it, then the chart looks completely different, and you trade completely different. If you're prone to intuition, you look at the chart, you're like, oh, so what's going on here? And just realizing that no matter where you think the market's going, they're going to retest the fuck out of it, and they're going to stop you if you're trying to ride this New Zealand dollar. Pretty brutal. And it's more jagged data because the spread's worse. So you can see just as the dollar against, the smoothest is going to be this, because this is the biggest, smoothest battle going on, is the euro against the dollar. You go to the pound, it's a little more jagged. Look at all the wicks up here on the 4-hour where there's just one or two here. This is just constantly pounding up here. Bam, bam, bam. And look at all this chatter. What the hell is that? Right, so that would be killer scalping territory for little mini iceberg order stuff that's just little things like this, or even one ticket. So one ticket's the way to go. It's just more work. But if you just place a canvas an area, because you're like, well, I don't know where it's going. You don't have to know. Would you buy in the middle? Would you buy this top? Yeah. Would you buy this retest down here at the bottom? Sure. Would you buy this top right now? Now you might buy one at the market, but you might realize that, and you could put a monster stop on it, just to prove how buying at the market's so stupid, because you'd probably be wrong, unless you're sitting here like waiting for that 5-minute window coming up on the news is coming out and like whatever. But this whole kind of like people are trying to dump this dollar, or it looks like this has been an accumulation of other currencies against the dollar the whole week. So people are saying, you know what, it's time to unravel this thing, and we just can't get any lower. I mean, the leading edge of the crush is the euro going to fall through the floor on the bigger time frames, where if you go to the pound, you know, you just kind of been there, done that. Whereas here we made a new low. We made a new low in the euro, but we kind of visited that psychotic territory here on the on that big wick. But this could still retest. So anything could happen retest wise. So there's the monthly. If you slice it like this, I'd say it's safe to look at it, because you're not looking. You're just looking right to the center here. You look. Everybody's on a vertical. You just can't zoom out and start trying to put a Gartley on that. So that's an interesting view. Now this is the end of the beginning of the new year, so God knows what the thrills and spills are coming. But this definitely looks like a double bottom to me. Could be the this has been an uptrend ever since here. First trend line you could have drawn right here. And this guy too, going up. Pretty bumpy ride though. It's a bumpy currency. This is a nice smooth destruction. These guys fall out of bed pretty hard. Wow. So, just trying to retest the high of the day here. 4-hour chart. Okay. So I had to get out of stuff here to scalp this account. I was getting disappointed with I don't stay in trades as long as this. I stayed in this for 2 days on a couple swings on here. Wasn't worth it. It's just too much time. Market's open 24 hours. I just want to make my money and bail. So if this thing takes out the high of the yesterday, it makes a new high for the week, and then tries to take out the highs from last week, right up here. This is that wick. Then it'll be quite the stampede north here. But they're all commingled here. Also cuts into my winning, because if you just focus on one currency like this and you loaded the wagon here on this 25 pips, you just made like 10 grand if you did it right. I mean, the way I'm seeing these people trade at the market like goofs. There's this guy out there, he's buying at the market. His spread's 4, his commissions are 1 pip. He's down 670 pips out of the gate. It's like, wow, man. Then he gets out when he's up 700. I'm like, well, that's a break-even trade. Scalping. But I just can't imagine. I mean, it's like if just abusing the account. I mean, look at all these. I probably got about, geez, I don't know, 200K in here, ready to get filled, itching to get filled here. All right, I guess I have to wait on that, but that's my prognostication, is that the dollar's going to get its final assault today. We've been doing the ranging. Australia was the assault, first assault. This is second, but by this on pullback. And these guys are very conservatively setting up for this top bottom here right now. This same situation. We may have to come all the way back, and then you could even come all the way to here. I don't know what the news wouldn't matter. It would just be, certainly if you bought this big thing here and you waited for that to take out that and you cashed out of both of these, that was it. This would be the next shoe to drop. But doesn't mean it can't come back to this again. And then I got my sell banks start up here for the kickback down. And those last a real long time, and they're really widely spaced, but that's the other thing I got to work on, is putting a little broader. So here's my 32 pip, just a linear grid like this for 3 hours. I don't think that's got to last a lot longer, I think. But if you're trying to do that trade, and the same thing here on the buy side, a 3 hour order bank like this to just buy nothing but pullbacks. So if you don't think you're in big enough, which I'm not, I'm only in $700 of, then I'm just going to be loading up. But I'm also giving these a time limit up here of 3 hours. 3 hour time limit. These are really just scalps. 12 pip stop to make, you know, it's got to go ripping up there during the news, but it could happen. And all these are valid. You know, the problem with Fibonacci is too precise. If you're just like canvas an area like this, the idea that you're going to put precision on something that looks like this is just, I don't get it. I guess people want to dress up whatever they have. You got a high-end store down here. Go in there. I mean, people want to look like a rock star. That's all there is to it. There's something in people. So this looks pretty tame. A 3 hour order. This is a great way to get your feet wet. A 3 hour order. 3 hour tour. But here's the 8 hour. Now this is a little more serious. So you have to really make a commitment here overnight on this order. Is the 12 by 3 8 hour 15 pip stop, 30 pip winner. Now that one you can space. Put it right where support's at. Here's if I think I missed the trade, I'd get in right now here on a 1 hour. Just get me in. This is the Fibonacci. Risk 21 to make 34. This could still pull back. This is pretty ridiculous. Looks like that's gonna... I would say the leader would be the pounds leading the pack. And those sells could be ridiculously a bad placement, but just for kicks, I'm going to leave all those sells up there. Same thing here. We could come flying up into the nosebleed section. So for the next 3 hours, I'll start selling everything above here. These are like the scalp ones. Yeah. I just gotta wait that out. This could be a scalp zone up here. Let's go 32 pips for 3 hours. Alrighty. So I hit the pause button, see if I can get filled on this stuff. So I'm at 763 margin right now. Going for the big rally. Say bye-bye dollar. They're going to crush that dollar. They've been crushing it up and down. It's just back and forth. But they could be lights out this year. And once again, the top of the hour is a big deal. So I'm looking at New Zealand. Look at this this the pound screaming up. Let me get rid of these other symbols. Another thing is, if you only track 4 symbols, you can watch the tick charts better. There's more data on them. So I'm going to put everything in New Zealand here because I'm going to get the I'm buying the worst. The one that's the cheapest right now I'm focusing on to see if I get filled on my limits. I'm placing out in front here. I put a huge dense pack here, but I'm up about 20 bucks just holding here, trying to get filled on another $200 of margin. So here's another bonus of trading in one direction. In other words, trading against one instrument, the dollar against one currency, because I can hold my profits. I'm winning on this. I'm going to be winning on that. And I've been buying this as it pulls back. I've been taking on more margin and making money at the same time. Because this is a domino theory. As the dollar goes around and abuses the other currencies or disabuses them, you can just see the whole wave in front of you, and just easier. If you take out these other things, you really have to, maybe you're going to run the dollar CAD and the dollar to the yen and the dollar to something else on a separate account, because how can you want to commingle this move? I wouldn't want to commingle it. So this way, if I do want to bail right now, I could take my $67 and run. And along the way, something should be cashing out here as this comes up. So at the bottom of the hour, let's see where this thing's at. Bottom of the hour. Almost $800 of margin now. And I know I won't get filled on anything else. Also, since I'm a pure limit trader, I don't have any buy stops waiting to get filled as we go up. I also don't have any, whatever I see here wick-wise, if we don't go below the wicks that are already presented themselves, if I'm long right now, then it means I'm not going to get stopped out, because my stops, I don't run trailing stops. I just get out. If I think it's just up, I just get out. If I think it's too big a move, like I can bail right now. But if the pound kills the dollar, and then this guy joins in, I've got enough margin. If I get enough profits, as this pulls back in, I can load up on these scalps, and I can load up on the bigger targets. And then when it comes up into this bank, this is a 3-hour bank on the north side, and it fills that, then I'll make money for us, a bounce, a psychotic bounce off of that. Momentary spike. So right now I'm up 25 bucks just because I'm trading it and I don't have the CAD in here, and right now the CAD would be going through the floor. I don't have it up. It's not even there to distract me because I'm trying to trade. I'm trying to scalp and swing trade real time, and all these currencies are synced right now to the dollar, whereas if you go to the other things, it's like, oh boy. And this is kind of like the Australia's Asia anyways, so you have two currencies on the right panel that are neighbors and two on the left that are neighbors. So right now I could get out and be up 50 bucks on the day right now. Okay, the dominoes are starting to fall. So the leading currency was the pound, and this is following, and then this is lagging, and this is the last to make it to the table. So I cashed out of some scalps, and I loaded up on the ones that I'm cashing out of right now are the ones that I put as those little micro pullback orders. And now we're just going to see how much headway we can make. The pound takes out the high of the day and take out the high of last week and have the euro follow it. Here comes the news in about 15 seconds. So we picked up a couple tickets here on the New Zealand, and we picked up no more pound because pound pulled back. And here we go. Spread should get wide. I'm going to leave my cells up there. I was thinking about taking them down. I'm going to try this close all cells button if it goes up too hard. And use this out. There you go. Let's see what happens. Here comes the 5-minute traders, 1 minute away. So just cashed out of something here. And now I'm probably going to pluck off these tickets that look like they're too close if we spike up. Take some of these cells out of the way. Ideally it goes up there, hits them, bangs back. This has got a long way to go. So that's just it. You gotta wait still. Here comes the 5-minute traders. They're 15 seconds from coming in. So that was a breakout, the pullback on the 4-hour, looking for follow through. Looking to dump the dollar across the board here. Got the Australian in the lead right now with this guy, and pound's bringing up the rear. New Zealand's bringing up the rear. Top of the hour. So you got like 55 minutes till stock market. It's the top of the hour. Stock market opens up in half an hour, and we're cashing out of stuff as it goes up here. Not the greatest targets in the world, just really a retest. And then if we clip that retest, we can throw a buy bank down here, and then I can put a smattering of cells up on top. I took away all the cells because depending on how violently we go up or down is going to determine how wide a spread. So I'm going to go for a 30 pip linear grid, 32 pip coverage, 5 tickets inside the 32 pip range. And that way we can scale into the sell side. You also might replunge. I still got some pendings that are sitting here. So we could still come back into the fair value and retap these limits that are trailing behind right now. Okay, just got out of something else. And just got out of something else. So maybe go flat here. And then I can come in with the this really wide coverage orders. Cover 32 pips here. The 20 stop to make 40 pips. Pretty conservative stuff. Not looking for an outlandish target. So wait for the stock market to open. Or you just bail right here. Just take your money and run. Up 400 bucks this morning. Barely using this account though. Okay, so we're unwinding this position as it goes through the top. And usually it's a trap at the top anyway, so we want to get out right at the top as they take out the high of the day. Australia looks first to pop, and then New Zealand's going to bring up the rear. And the British pound could retest. So after this, when the stock market opens up here in 11 minutes, and then reassess it, throw some orders above and below, maybe canvas really wide spaced above and below. We could just go into some sideways thing, but definitely looks like a pop here. You only got about 5 more pips to go. So the stocks are open, and there's more news coming out in about a few minutes here. Another like 45 after. Got news in 15 minutes, and then you got news in almost a half hour. And I'll buy this on pullbacks now. So I could get into a real wide low risk 3-hour trade. Start putting these back in and reload the pullback strategy. Go for a 3 hours with 12 hip stops. Start here. Oops. I guess I edited that. It's supposed to be single click right here. So lace it in between it. Now that's a 10K. Then here's a 32 pip zone. Put this one down here, same time frame, 3 hours. So market's got to come smashing down in that and then go up. Okay. Waiting for the follow through on this Australian dollar. Looking for New Zealand to pick up the slack. This one's just behind here and looking for the pullback for more clamor on this. Go for 8 hours, just below the ask right now. And then put an 8 hour on top of it. We might retest that pivot. And then, so the other guys are off, but the pound's a little bit, everybody cashed out already on the top. I'm assuming a lot of people got out right here at retest, and plenty of opportunity to get back in, and that was the scalp. If you had your sell limit sitting up in that window, that was great. That was a great trade because it was 25 pips. If you held through it, you could have held it all the way till it went for 50 pip winner or 75. It was easy 25 with a 12 stop. Alrighty then. So, still waiting for these two guys to kill the dollar right into the news here. So we got 3 minutes. Stock market's been open for 3 minutes. And this is usually pretty brutal. When it goes up like this, it just clears, it goes straight up. Boom. So I'm on the 4-hour chart, and you don't need to go to the 5-minute chart to imagine that inside the 5-minute chart, since we've been going up, there's some type of candle that would justify an entry. Whether it's a candle of, you know, it's a hammer or engulfing, it wouldn't matter. Like, you just need an excuse to get in. But you don't have to go to the 5-minute chart. You can see the pullback entry here, the doji. Hey, why would you go to the... so you don't need to do that. You're just waiting for this thing to take out the high of the day, so you get the hell out. That's all we're waiting for here. No need to go to the other time frames. This is plenty of drama here. Now, if you want to go to the 5-minute chart, and you got the tick chart running, the tick chart just exploded here on this. I'm not sure if the broker went offline there. But this is one pissed off currency. This is the one that got all excited about the initial move and backed off really hard, and we bought the top, the double top becoming a bottom in the 4-hour. So you can just imagine what the 5-minute traders are thinking here. That's a 15-minute trend. If it's going up for 4 hours, inside there must be pullbacks that you could got in on. So as soon as it clips out here, we're cashing out and waiting for a possible drift back maybe. If I was going to sell it, I'd have to put my sell limit starting here at this double bottom, because I think we could go screaming up here. If we reject this bottom on the daily, so you can put a pack of orders up here. This is also the round number. Here's the other round number. So it looks something like this. Just so I don't blow up the account, I'm going to put 3-hour canvas, everything from like here on up. It's got 3 hours to come ripping up there and come ripping back. It's a daily chart. Not likely. But it's that concept. Just have to pick the right time frame. Okay, New Zealand's bringing up the rear. We just got a breakout on the Australian. We just took out the 4-hour ledge. Just took out that new high. So we're in long on it, and I don't know if I cashed out of enough of this. It could still be in my basket of stuff. So if you wanted to try to micromanage it, I suppose you could take off the British pound. Get it to show up. So the pound's up. Or just let that go, because maybe that's going to be the laggard. It'll finally kick into the bunch of bananas. Yeah, so that's because it's kind of at the borderline. The idea is to cash out of these, pad the account. Same with this one. Get the hell out of these two. Let the other guys. This maybe comes back. Maybe this comes back. Maybe it doesn't. And then when it gets quiet later on, you come in with really super tight orders and play the micro moves. Then maybe you could be on the other time frame chart. Okay. News is coming out here in big news at the top of the hour. But you can see the scrambling into the news. If this pops above here before the news, we'll be getting out of something. That's the idea. Constantly getting out of something. And the news is out. We just cashed out of one little K. Now, 5 minutes after the news, we should be out of this whole shebang. Got to clear the high of the day now. Big contest now that the news is out. They bid it all the way up into that. And they could slam it. People don't like that price. I don't know. I'm going to stay long. I got a bullish engulf on the 10-second chart, so I added to the position. So this should work out great. Just got another engulfing 10-second candle. We're making higher highs. I think we're in an uptrend. Let's buy. I think it's going up. Let's buy right here. Looks like a winner. You know, I wanted to wait till the Australia and New Zealand were going up. The euro's going up really hard, just before I send out the signal to my subscribers. But it got kind of I want to send out a tweet in about 5 minutes saying to buy the Australian dollar. Okay, I got just a little spelling error here on the tweet on the signal service. I just gotta get this email just run spell check, but I'll send it out any second now, and I'll let my subscribers know to buy right here. Well, as soon as they get the thing and get to their platform, maybe we'll be up here by then, and we'll have more confirmation that we're going up. So that's we're waiting for the confirmation to buy this. All week we've been waiting, and I'm saying if you like to have some skin in the game, I'd say you're probably going to need a 75 to 50 pip stop on this right now. So if you bought right here, of course, you probably won't get the tweet till we go up another 5 pips. So you might want to make that a 75 pip stop. I'm just saying that's how our signal service runs here. I know it's slow, but listen, at least we're sending out signals, you know. We're not like those other people that jump in the market, you know, willy-nilly. This is, they don't call it technical analysis for nothing. Very technical. It's like having a license to be a surgeon. Not anybody can just pick up a scalpel. Still waiting for this New Zealand to follow through. It's looking very iffy, and this could be still in something here. I just sent the signal on this, and somebody just tweeted me back and asked me, well, if it's such a good trade, like how big should I get in it? I would say without reservation, you want to load the wagon on this trade. And because you don't want to get stopped out, it's such a good trade that I'd give this thing some room, like 150 pips on your stop. And now that I have I'm just about to put a tweet out to buy the British pound, but I'm waiting for confirmation for this to break out before I do that. This one is just gonna say this is something you might want to buy. I've got 3 minutes till natural gas storage. I'm just about to send out a tweet to buy the British pound. We'll almost have confirmation to go long here. Waiting for a confirmed breakout. This time I got the spelling right. I got my finger on the trigger. I'm about to send out the signal, my signal service to buy that right there. And this will be coming up soon. So if you want to jump the gun, you can get it now. All right, just about to hit the send button. I really want to see what this natural gas storage number is, so I can judge whether fundamentally or not I want to actually get into this currency. And we got crude oil coming out in 32 minutes, so I'd kind of like to wait for that too. But as you can see, the people that bought here on my signal service, they are winning. Okay, they are up 10 pips. If they, the one guy that asked me how big to get in, he's in right now. You can see that's what's pumping the market up. When my signals go out, that's another thing that kind of fuels the market movement. Okay, news is coming out in 30 seconds, and I'm telling everybody totally sell the dollar across the board, all currency pairs right now. Boom, hit it. 30 seconds till news. We have confirmed breakouts across the board. News and this is not even, this is just natural gas. Wait till crude oil comes out. Then we get another bump. Another big bump. Okay, hang in there. Just got 5 seconds left. Hopefully get a bullish reaction here, especially for the people that got in that Australian dollar trade. Okay, half hour till you get to the crude oil inventories in a half hour. Okay, everybody should be up in their accounts. You got the buy signals on these. I just published them. We just got confirmation. And crude oil's coming out. In 20 minutes, crude is going to be out here, and we're going to see. We're going to make some serious money to the upside. And now it's selling. It goes up here. And I'll be putting out the confirmation when it starts to come back down and we get back to where we're at now. I'll send you out the sell ticket notifications. That's how we roll here.